ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, 61st verse. Shri Krishna in the previous verses has told how if a person out of pride or self-conceit or egotism thinks that I would not do my duty or I would not perform my swadharma, then that person is having a vain resolve or a false resolve, because Prakriti will definitely make him do or make her do that particular thing. Because everyone is bound by one's nature, that which is inherent in a person, and they exhaust their karmas. And so they are avashaha, they are helpless. They are helpless. Duryodhana asks this question, says this: Janami dharmam nachame pravrittim, janami adharmam nachame nivrittim. I know what is dharma, what is righteous, but I am unable to perform it. I am unable to perform it. Similarly, I know what is unrighteous, but I am unable to avoid it. So, that is the plight of a jiva. That is the plight of a person. So one who is in delusion, who is in the realm of maya or ignorance or avidya, has to do the things which one is bound to do because of the karma, effects of karma. One cannot avoid those things. And so if a person thinks that I would avoid, that's a false hope. That's a false hope. And that is why Sri Ramakrishna used to say that Jemni chalao temni choli. O God or O Mother Kali, however you direct me, however you want me to do, I do. A complete annihilation, a complete destruction of ego. Just surrendering to the prarabdha karma or surrendering to God, the will of God. That idea where Sri Ramakrishna says, Ami jontro tumi jontri. So I am just an instrument and you are the person who, you are the jontri, means you are the person who, yantri, who is actually directing the instrument, managing the instrument. So here, Sri Krishna says in the 61st verse, Ishvaraha sarva bhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantrarudani mayaya. Arjuna, O Arjuna, Ishvaraha, the Lord, mayaya, by maya, yantra arudani, one who is aruda, or one who is mounted or seated on a yantra, on a machine. Sarva bhutani, all beings, brahmayan, causing to revolve. Sarva bhutanam, of all beings, hriddeshe, in the hearts, tishtati, dwells. So the Lord or God, O Arjuna, Arjuna, the word Arjuna means white. So here it means one who has a pure heart. So, O Arjuna, Lord, what does Lord do? Lord dwells in the hearts of all beings, causing all beings by his maya to revolve. As if Lord is mounted on a machine. As if Lord is mounted on a machine. So, the Lord dwells in the hearts of all beings, causing all beings by maya to revolve, as if mounted on a machine. So this one has to understand that God is there in the hearts of all living beings. And using God's Maya, God makes everyone revolve, all the beings to revolve. Brahmayan, revolve. Revolve can mean moving around in this universe behind sense objects or behind different pursuits, or it can also mean moving in the cycle of transmigration, repeated birth and death. So, as if mounted on a machine. So, it is as though a person is sitting on a car and making the car move. Car is the instrument. Car is not the driver. The driver, whoever drives the car, is making a car move. Similarly, God makes us all move, makes us do different things. And so we have to understand that. First, we have to understand that God is there, present in all beings. Second, we have to understand that God is making us do everything. Now, there is a serious chance of hypocrisy here. So, a person may do whatever that person wants and say that God is doing everything. Even a minute amount of, even a slight amount of ego would disprove the thesis that God is doing everything. So God is actually doing everything. Even a dry leaf cannot move without the will of God. But are we understanding it? That is the question. Are we aware of it? That is the question. So if you are not aware, then what we do? Then we take to egotism and we do things, and if we have read some scripture like this, we might parrot the words that God is doing this. So if there is ego, if there is selfishness, then even if we say that God is doing this, we have not understood it. And because we have not understood it, that God is doing everything does not cause any effect on our lives. Because we have not understood it. See, God is there everywhere. In every particle of this universe, God is there. But then what is the problem? God is there, so what is the big problem? God is already there. Even if we have understood it or not understood it, God is there. But we will continue to suffer unless we understand that God is there in every particle of this universe. So the suffering, it does not stop. That is the problem. Suffering does not stop. Only when we are aware, when we understand, we realize the omnipresence of God, only then suffering stops. So, if we say that God is making me do everything, then suffering should stop. If it does not stop, that means we are saying it only as a lip service. We don't really believe in that. So that is very important, because it's easy to say that God is doing everything. But Sri Ramakrishna did not say God is doing everything in that sense or in that manner. He understood it, he experienced it, and with that knowledge he said that God is doing everything. So that is the fact. God is doing everything. Every small bit of this universe is being controlled by God. But we have to realize it. We have to understand it, and then our life becomes free from any kind of suffering. And so, if we understand that God is doing everything, then we will have an attitude of surrender, sharanagati. We will have an attitude of surrender towards God. And that attitude itself will prove that we believe that God is doing everything. That is what is told in the 62nd verse of the 18th chapter. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam. Bharata, O descendant of the king Bharata, Sarva Bhavena, with all your heart, Tam, in God, Eva, alone, Sharanam Gacha, take refuge, Tat Prasadat, by God's grace, Param Shantim, supreme peace, Shashwatam, eternal, Sthanam, abode, Prapsyasi, you shall attain. So, take refuge in God with all your heart. O Arjuna or O Bharata, take refuge in God with all your heart. By God's grace, you shall attain supreme peace and the eternal abode. Supreme peace you would attain and the eternal abode. So, take refuge in Him with all your heart. All your heart means don't have any kind of hypocrisy. Don't have any kind of second guessing or second ideas, doubts in your mind. Sri Ramakrishna says in Bengali, Bhaver ghore churi. Bhaver ghore churi. Hypocrisy. You think something, but you are practicing something else. You say something, but you believe in something else. So, Bhaver ghore churi korte nahi. Means you should not do this theft in the realm of bhava or thoughts. That means you should not be dishonest. You should not be dishonest. You should be sincere to what you speak, what you think, etc. So, when take refuge in God with all your heart, 100% refuge. You don't have to think about anything else. Complete refuge. If you take, then why have you to take refuge? Because ultimately it is God who is running the show. Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra arudani mayaya. So, God is making every living being move as though God is making a machine move. So that is why even if we believe it or not, everything is done by God. So take refuge in God with all your heart. And by God's grace, you will attain supreme peace. You will attain supreme peace and you will attain the eternal abode. You will attain the eternal abode. Why would you attain the eternal abode? Because you will not have to come to this world again and again. This world will cease to exist as a transmigratory cycle. Samsara means that which moves. This movement will stop for you. And so you will be free. You will become mukta. You will get moksha. By whose grace? By God's grace. Itite jnanam akyatam guhyad guhyataram maya vimrshyetad asheshena yathechasi tatha kuru. Now this is a very important verse, 63rd verse. Iti, thus guhyat, of all profound things, of all secret things, guhyataram, more profound or more secret, jnanam, wisdom, te, to you, maya, by me, akhyatam, has been told, aseshena, fully, etat, this, vimrishya, thinking over, yatha ichhasi, what you think, tatha kuru, that you kuru, do. So this wisdom, which is profound than the most profound wisdom, has been told to you by me. Reflect over it properly, completely. Reflect over it completely and do as you like. Do as you like. So it means what? The Shastra, Gita. Now from the second chapter onwards till this 18th chapter, Sri Krishna has been telling so many things to Arjuna. First chapter is a description of the setting and also what happens to Arjuna. But second chapter onwards, Sri Krishna starts talking, and the whole Gita till the 18th chapter is nothing but his teachings. So here he says, see, this whole Shastra, this whole scripture I have told you. Now this scripture is very profound. Profound both in the sense of it is difficult to get this knowledge, in terms of knowledge itself, in terms of what has been told, that itself is very difficult to get. And Lord Himself, God Himself has told, God has told this. But profound also because it is very difficult to understand this knowledge. It is difficult to understand this knowledge. So, etad asheshena vimrishya. You completely reflect over it. All the sides of it, reflect over all the sides of this. And yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Do what you think is correct. Do what you think is correct. Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Do what you think is correct. Now this do what you think is correct is a strange kind of instruction. So now I have told you whatever I have to tell, do what you want to do. If Sri Krishna wanted Arjuna to only do what Arjuna wanted to do, then he need not have told the entire Gita. That is the first question here. That is the first problem. Why did he tell the Gita? If he wants Arjuna to do what he wants. So anyway, Arjuna had sat on his chariot, Gandivam sramsate hastat, Tvakchaiva paridahyate, Mukham cha parishusyati. So his mouth went dry, his weapon Gandiva, it fell from his hands, and his skin started burning. So if Arjuna had to do what he wanted to do, where is the point in telling all this? So yatha ichchasi tatha kuru cannot be taken very literally. It does not mean that do what you want to do. It means select whatever path you have to follow from what I have told. Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. That means not that you do what you like, though literally that is what is meant. You do what you would like to do among what I have told you. So there is, for example, Raja Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. All these methods are there. All yogas are there in the Gita. Swami Vivekananda, one of the singular contributions of Swami Vivekananda is that he brought out 4 yogas from the Bhagavad Gita and made it widely known to the world. Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. So all these yogas are there. Now there are more yogas also. So you do what you like, means what you think is proper for you or what you think you can do, you do. That is the idea. So select from the alternatives that have been given to you. Sarva guhya tamam bhuyah Shrunu me paramam vachah Ishtosi me dridamiti tato vakshyami te hitam. Me, my, sarva guhya tamam, the most profound or the most secret, paramam vachah, supreme word, bhuyah, again, shrunu, hear, you hear, me, of me, dridam, with a firm resolve, or dridam ishtaha, you are my most beloved. Ishtaha, you are most beloved or very close to me. Asi, you are. Tataha, therefore, te, to you, hitam, what is good, vakshyami, I will speak. So, you hear again my supreme word, which is the most profound of what I have told. You hear the supreme word, which is most profound of what I have told, because you are very beloved to me. Therefore, I will speak what is good to you. I will tell what is good to you. I will talk about what is good to you. Again, he is saying, Bhuyah, again. Why again? Because I have been telling this to you in the past. This entire Gita, this is what I have been telling to you. So, because you are highly beloved or very dear to me, therefore, I will speak, I will tell you what is good to you, what is good for you, that I will say. And so please, so here what Sri Krishna is trying to do is trying to summarize the entire Gita. He is trying to summarize the entire Gita, giving the essence of the text. The essence of the entire Gita he is trying to give here. So that's why he is saying that you please concentrate and hear what I have to say, because this is going to be the most profound of what I have told till now. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Manmana, with mind occupied with me. Madbhakta hai, devoted to me. Madhyaji, sacrificing to me. Bhava, be. Mam, to me. Namaskuru, bow down, bow down. Mameva, myself. Eshyasi, you shall reach. Aham, I. Te, to you. Satyam, truly. Pratijane, promise. Me, to me. Priyah, dear. Asi, you are. So, occupy your mind with me. Be devoted to me. Sacrifice to me. Bow down to me. You shall reach me, and I promise you that you are dear to me. So, why I promise you that you are dear to me? Because I promise you, you are dear to me because whatever I am saying, have faith in that. It is for your own good I am telling these things. Have faith in that. And so, if you constantly think of God alone as your aim, and also you use God to reach that aim, then you will definitely attain the highest. That is, you will attain God. If you think God is the aim, and if you use God to attain the aim, means how? Madhyaji, you sacrifice to God. Your mind is manmanaha, your mind is occupied with me, says Sri Krishna. That means you are constantly thinking of God. Madbhakta hai, you are devoted to God. You are constantly devoted to God. And then you namaskuru, you pray to God, you bow down to God, and then you will attain me alone. Satyam pratijane, I promise. See, God is promising that if you do all these things, then you will attain to me alone. Then comes the final thing which he says. He gives a great assurance Sri Krishna gives in the 66th verse of the 18th chapter. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyo moksha yishyami ma shuchah. So this, it's a wonderful verse. Sarva dharman, all dharmas. All dharmas means all, it can mean all properties of you, and also all kinds of righteous and unrighteous actions. So you be free from all action. Parityajya, giving up. Ekam mam sharanam vraja. Ekam, alone, one, mam, in me. Sharanam, refuge. Vraja, take. Aham, I. Tva, you. Sarva papebhyah, from all sins. Moksha yishyami, will liberate. Ma, do not. Shuchah, grieve. So, giving up all dharmas, that means adharma and dharma, all actions, because here it is about becoming free from actions. Becoming naishkarmya means becoming established in getting transcendence of action, means transcending action. Naishkarmya means not being affected by any action. And then what you have to do is surrender to me. Mamekam sharanam vraja. Only me alone. Only God. That there is nothing else other than God. Nothing else other than Brahman. You surrender. And then I will liberate you. How will I liberate you? I will give you this understanding that God, that is I, Sri Krishna says, is not different from you. So I will liberate you. Or in the language of the devotee, God will liberate, give moksha to the person. And sarva papebhyah. Papebhyah means here the main papa or sin is ignorance or mistake. How mistake? Bonds of dharma and adharma. Bonds of dharma and adharma. All papa, bonds of dharma and adharma. So dharma and adharma, one has to give up. One has to give up. So then what happens? You transcend all your gunas, you transcend all righteous and unrighteous action, and you just surrender your ego. You just surrender to that one force. Call it Brahman, call it your prarabdha karmas. Depending on the path you take, whatever you call it, you surrender yourself to that. And then you will attain moksha. Then you will transcend all these righteous and unrighteous actions. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.